everybody. Welcome to another episode of Insurance Simplified with IronRock. It's our podcast where we try to help and break down, demystify, and simplify all of these insurance terms, all of the things that get you in your policy, because we don't want to get you. We just want to protect you. So, today's episode, we're going to be talking about something quick, something simple, the top 5 things you should be asking your insurers when it comes to your motor policy. So there are lots of terms and conditions in a motor policy. You know, it's not just a contract that you need to get to pass a police stop or something like that. There are lots of things that you should be considering and that you should ask your agent, your rep, your customer service rep, your broker. These are the things, the main things we think you should be talking about. So let's get into the top 5 things you should ask your insurer about your motor insurance. Number 1, and I think it's probably the biggest thing, so let's get it out there, is what limits of third-party coverage do I have? Now, a lot of people watching might be saying, but I have a comprehensive policy. Why do I care about third-party limits? That doesn't affect me, or that doesn't have anything to do with me. That's not true. Your comprehensive policy is split into 2 sections: the third-party protection section and your own damage, so the coverage for your vehicle. So under the third party section, which is the part required by law, you have a limit to the protection that your insurance company gives you if you're wrong in an accident. So under your comprehensive section, your own damage, you're covered up to the value of your vehicle. But under the third party section, there's a limit to what your insurer will pay out when you're wrong, and that's, you know, if you've damaged somebody's vehicle or property, you know, a gate, a wall, or if you've injured somebody like a passenger or another driver. So it's important to ask the question, what am I covered for? What is the limit of my protection? Now, the market standard is around an average of $3 million for property damage protection and $3 to $5 million for injury protection. So what that means is, if you're in an accident and you're wrong, then your insurance company will protect you and pay for your wrongdoing up to those limits. So let's do a practical example, as we like to simplify things. Let's say you're driving along and you crash into a new RAV4, which is $5 or $6 million, and your policy only has coverage of $3 million for property damage. Then if you have written off the person's RAV4 and it's an accident, you can be wrong, eh? If you've written it off, then your policy is only going to pay out the $3 million and you are left holding the bag for that other $2 million to make it to 5. So it's important, you need to ask that question, because guess what? You can buy more. Usually it's a small additional premium to top up your coverage. Of course, if you're with IronRock, our standard coverage for most of our vehicles starts at $5 million, so you don't necessarily have to top up that much, but you can top up to $10 or even $20 million. And, you know, depending on your profile and how you drive on the road, you may want to just consider that extra $5,000 or $6,000 a year that it would cost you to move your coverage to something like $10 million. It's really not that expensive when you think about the level of coverage you're going to get. And remember, you're covering both property damage and injury. Suppose you injured 3 or 4 people in an accident and you only have $3 million of cover. Again, you don't want to be left holding the bag where, you know, that other party is now going to come to you to personally sue you for the money, right? So make sure you're asking your insurer, ask your rep, ask your agent, what third-party limits do I have, and can I increase them? How much to increase them? It really isn't that much to increase, and everyone should be considering it. So that's the number 1 thing you should be asking. Let's get a sip of some coffee here. Number 2, next biggest one that nobody considers until, of course, there's an accident. What is my deductible? How does my excess work? You know, everybody hears the phrase deductible and they know it's on the policy, but they really don't think about it. They don't think about the dollar transaction that's going to be in the event of an accident. What's the actual dollar amount? Because you need to plan for it. You need to know that this is what I have to bring to the table if there's an accident, if I'm at fault, or even if I'm not at fault and I'm claiming under my policy. You have to meet the deductible. Now, the market standard, again, is And I'll use that a lot. I want to give them what you can expect in the market, because I would anticipate that some of you watching are not necessarily an IronRock customer. So I'm going to, kind of explain what to expect in the market, and not just if you're with IronRock. So your market standard deductible for a private car is 5% of the sum insured. So 5% of the value of the car. So if your car is $1 million in value, your deductible of 5% is $50,000. If your car is, let's say, it's a new BMW X3 and it's $10 million in value, well, let's get our calculator. That's easy. $10 million times 5%, that's $500,000. Oh, it's probably reversed on this now. Not 200, $500,000. So yes, the banks are giving away great loans on vehicles, great terms and conditions, and you can go and get that luxury vehicle you've always dreamed of. But especially when, dealers are having specials on insurance, they're including insurance for the first year, or they're giving you a break on the insurance, whatever it is, you're gone and you've gone and got this fantastic new vehicle, your dream car, and it is 10, 12, 14 million dollars. Then somebody hits it, right? Not you, you're not at fault. Somebody hits it and you have to claim on your policy. You have a deductible to meet, and it's important when you're buying these vehicles to think about that. So, number 2 thing to ask your insurer, or your rep, your agent, your broker is, how much is my deductible and what is it in dollars? And what is it in dollars? You have to know the dollar amount so that you can be aware of it, and it's not just this arbitrary abstract percentage, Number 3 thing that you should be asking your insurer about, what kind of policy did I actually buy in terms of the driving restrictions? So we have been finding more and more, clients of ours that run into accidents with other people, and the other people have restricted policies. So the third party who, our client gets hit by has a restricted policy, and the driver at the time was not named on the policy. And all of a sudden, there's no coverage. So our client can't claim from that person anymore, and our client has to claim on their own policy and pay their own deductible and all of these things. So I will say to you, make sure you ask, is your policy restricted or open drive? What's the minimum age allowed to drive? What are the license requirements allowed to drive? These are the questions that you need to ask, and make sure it's clear. So that, 1, you don't just give your vehicle to any and anybody to drive. Remember, as the owner of a vehicle, you are responsible for whoever drives that vehicle. Once you've authorized somebody to drive, you're on the hook for what they do. So please, don't just hand out your vehicle to drive to anyone, and make sure that when you give your vehicle to somebody to drive, they're duly licensed, they're of the correct age for your policy, and make sure your policy doesn't have any restrictions. Double check to see, is my policy restricted to me alone, me and my spouse, me and a friend, or can anyone with my permission drive? Number 4, this one is a pretty simple one, a quick one to address. It is, how much windscreen protection do I have? Yes, your comprehensive policies provide windscreen protection. I think many customers know that, but I don't know if many customers know there's a limit to it. And you can possibly buy more. So again, if you have bought one of those dream cars, your luxury Benz, your Jag, your BMW, whatever it is, check with the dealer on what it costs to replace a windscreen, because you may be in a situation where your insurer has a limit of $100,000 or $200,000, and the windscreen ends up costing $250 or $300, and it was a benefit you thought you're going to get paid anything, but no, there's a limit. Remember, your policy schedule carries all of these limits on it. Maybe that's what I'll do on the next podcast. I'll run through a policy schedule. That's not a bad idea. I'm going to write that one down and just do a policy schedule explainer video. But in the meantime, ask about your windscreen coverage. Find out if you need more. Check with your dealer. Check with Dr. Glass or EML or another windscreen provider to find out what it would be to replace a windscreen on your model vehicle, so that you can ensure you have the right coverage. And number 5, as I said, this is a very short, quick video. The 5th thing that you should be asking your insurer, your agent, your rep is, are there any add-ons that I can get? Most insurance companies in the market today allow for some great little add-ons Things like protected no-claim discount, courtesy car if there's an accident, and uninsured motorist coverage, additional personal accident benefit, increasing your wrecker coverage. Make sure you have roadside assistance included. So check on all the add-ons that your comprehensive car insurance should have. Sometimes you can buy them individually. At IronRock, you can buy the IRIe bundle and get all the add-ons in one cheap add-on price for the year. So make sure you're asking your rep about that. Of course, I can use this opportunity and plug some of our new products, our Motor product, our Lady Driven, our Motor product. All of these come with our premium bundle built in. So once you meet the criteria for our Lady Driven or our Motor or Motor, you're going to get all the add-ons. You're going to get your no claim protected. You're going to get uninsured motorist coverage. And remember, 1 out of 3 insurers in Jamaica, 1 out of 3 drivers in Jamaica are not insured. That's I think the most current stat. 33% of the people in the country are driving without insurance. So there's a 1 in 3 chance that if you get hit by somebody, you have nothing to claim on but your own policy. So make sure you ask about that uninsured motorist coverage because it'll protect you against something like that. Rent a car. People think when they're in an accident, when they crash, that automatically they're going to be provided with an alternative or a rental vehicle. That's not the case. It's not automatic. So, unless of course you bought one of our new products, because it is automatic on it, but the standard policy in the market does not include a rental car if you're in an accident. So ask about it because you can get it. You can buy it. You can add it to your policy. Those are the top 5 things today, guys. Told you it was going to be a quick one. So let's recap. Number 1, ask your insurer what my third-party limits of liability are. Make sure that you're satisfied with them. I recommend everybody take a little top up, try get somewhere to $5-10 million instead of $2 or $3 million. Number 2, what is my excess? What's my deductible? How does it work? And more importantly, what's the dollar amount that I can expect? Number 3, is my policy restricted? Am I the only one allowed to drive? Me and my spouse, me and a friend, or can I let anyone who has a valid license and is of age drive? Find out about those age and license restrictions. Number 4, simple one, how much windscreen coverage do I have? Do I need to top it up? Have I bought a brand new vehicle, my dream car, and do I have enough coverage to replace the windscreen if a mango drop in it? And number 5, what add-ons can I get? Do I need to protect my no claim? Do I need to have a courtesy car? Is my car so important to me that, if I'm in an accident, I'm going to need something else to get around? Do I want that protection against those 1 out of 3 drivers who are doing the wrong thing and not driving with insurance? Ask about your add-ons. Certainly, call IronRock. Ask about IronRock's IRIe bundle. IRIe bundle includes all of them at a cheap add-on price. And those are your top 5 things to ask your insurer. Thanks for listening today, guys. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. It's at IronRock Jamaica on Instagram and IronRock Insurance on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter too at IronRock Jamaica. Check out our YouTube channel. All of these are going to be posted to our YouTube channel, and look out for the next episode. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys. Bye.